What is good, Amilivenow.Senpai? Welcome back to the channel, man. It is I, Amilivenow. I hope you guys having a wonderful start of your day. If you're just starting your day, you're just getting breakfast and you're trying to get some nutrition, I hope you enjoy that. Or if you're the type of person like me who fasts and takes out the bacteria and different types of parasites to replenish and rejuvenate yourself, then good job, something. If you are a person that's on your way to work, I hope you are driving safe. Or if you're about to go on break, I hope that you are, getting something to keep you energized, or, writing some notes down while you're learning from this video, right? Or if you can't go to sleep and you might have insomnia, I hope that you are, willing to learn from this video, and you learn so much that you'll get a little bit tired so you can fall asleep. When you see this, what day you see this, what month you see this, what year you see this, what era you see this, what eon you see this, all that I'm hoping for is that you are on your way to finding peace within your own mind capacity, guys. So that being said, if you don't believe in peace, I just hope that you're on your way to achieving and accomplishing your goals that will not hinder others and will still put you at a higher hierarchy of stature. Okay, so like I said, don't put people under the bus even though it might put you ahead, right? Try to still do righteous deeds while still climbing the ladder. That's the basis of what I'm trying to say, if you don't believe in peace. All right, so today's video is going to be about, without further ado, why you gotta look in the mirror. Meaning what? Well, let's break it down. A reflective phrase, you gotta look in the mirror. This phrase can have various meanings depending on the context, such as self-reflection, okay? Introspection, examining one's thoughts, feelings, and actions to gain insight and understanding. Personal growth, recognizing areas for improvement and working on self-development. All right, so when it comes to introspecting, thinking about examining thoughts, feelings, and actions to basically gain understanding within yourself. So when it comes to understanding actions, you understand that, okay, I haven't been on a good diet. That's why I gained 15 pounds. So now I'm gonna have to go back and understand what has my intake been. Now I'm gonna have to start tracking my carbs, the calories that I intake, different types of, processed foods that might not be as productive for my health, okay? So that is basically like the introspection part for like just a dietary example, right? Or you can look at things, for example, when it comes to introspection and the fact of, feelings, okay? So today my boss talked to me like this, and I didn't like how he talked to me like this, but I'm gonna have to deal with it because I still need a job, little things like that. You noticing like, okay, this is how I felt. Why did I feel like this? Oh, because my boss was talking in a certain type of way, okay? So when it comes to personal growth part of it, it talks about, recognizing areas for improvement and working on self-development. So when you're thinking about that portion, you're understanding that, okay, if I were to do my task better, maybe my boss won't get on my case as much and I won't feel how I feel after they get done talking to me. So basically that's a part of, personal growth. Or for example, if you're the type of person that wants to be more of outgoing instead of introvert, you want to be able to speak to just anybody, then you're gonna have to start having different types of, times where you go out and talk to people, even if you're at the grocery store, said, hey, I see you have these cans of beans. I'm trying to get this. What do you know anything about? Okay. All right. Thanks. You have a nice day. Just different types of, not small talk, but more so like conversations, Because small talk is more so like you're trying to talk to someone at an event or you're trying to catch up, and that can help you with learning how to just talk to anybody if that is what you're trying to pursue. But that is the part of developing, your people skills, okay? So if you're trying to do that, then yeah, that can help, It's not a bad thing. But if you're just trying to just be better in like overall, let's say you're trying to be better at, playing chess. Maybe it's not checkers, so don't take the same ruling as checkers while you're applying it to chess. No, you have to separate that, study what chess is, and then study what checkers is, and then you understand the difference between the two board games, okay? So let's continue. Accountability. Taking responsibility, acknowledging one's role in a situation, and accepting responsibility for actions. This is very important. Very important. Self-awareness. Understanding one's strengths, weakness, and emotions. Very important. So these two subjectives are very interesting, okay? So to go back to accountability when it comes to taking responsibility, acknowledging one's role in the situation and accepting responsibilities for actions. For example, when you are in a situation of a relationship, right? Everybody loves these types of topics, right? So let's talk about it. When you're a type of person, girl or boy, vice versa, if you're a type of person that abuses an individual's love, then you are going to actually have to take responsibility on the consequences of abusing an individual's love. For example, if you constantly are doing something that is detrimental, but it's because they're always going to have your back, or that they're always going to brush it off. When it comes to, like, say for example, you are always using the car, but you're not putting in gas money. It's like, okay, every time you give them back the car, it's on E. Now the consequences is them complaining and you not pitching and putting gas money, even though you're always using the car. So you're understanding that, okay, I do use the car, but you love me anyways, so I don't have to put gas money. So that is something that it comes with consequences, and you have to be able to accept, right, the responsibilities for your actions, which is them complaining or them taking the car privilege away from you, right? And you might need that. That's just an example. Let's just say, worst case scenario, you're a girl, right? This happens all the time. And you're a cheater. And you're always cheating on your boyfriend, but you love him because he has stability, he has funds, and he has resources. So you don't leave him, but you cheat on him because he just might not be slinging that pipe how you like. And he's not stupid, but he loves you, and he just thinks, that's my girl, she's gonna change. And most of the times girls like that don't change, and it could be vice versa too. I'm not trying to put anybody in a certain construct, all right? I'm just speaking real. So, like, just think about it, like, yeah, there are things they're gonna have to accept for their actions. Like, if the guy gets fed up, he can leave her if he wants. They're not married. So then the girl's gonna have to deal with not having resources, stability, and just different types of, abundance. So now the guy that she be with, or the multiple dudes that she be with, they don't give a fuck. They just wanna crack that and keep it pushing, because they know she going. They know she's 3 or 4, right? So, and this could be vice versa too, just letting you know. And it's just like, damn, I had a good thing going on, but it's because I had a certain type of abuse when it comes to my personality. I'm going to have to suffer these consequences, right? Because of the actions that she took, she's gonna have to accept what comes with it. That's when it comes with taking responsibility. And that's just something that is important in all aspects, not always relationships. It goes within all situations and scenarios in life. You get what I'm saying? So to go to the self-awareness perspective of this subjective, which is accountability, it's more so like this. When it comes to understanding one's strengths, weaknesses, and emotions, It's more so you, for example, if you know you're not the best test taker on certain subjects, like for example, if you're not good at math, then you're going to have to go to study groups, actually study on your own time, and actually do practice exams to be able to get to that part of you passing those type of tests or exams, depending on what schooling you're in. If it's university, college, same thing, or just high school or middle school too. I don't know how old people are watching me. So for example, understanding what your strengths are. So if you're good at science but you're not good at math, then basically you don't have to study as much in science, because when you go through the courses and when you go through the lessons, you're not as bad as when you go through math lessons or courses. So you're gonna have to try harder in math, right? It's as simple as that. If you're a person that dribbles good in basketball, another example, if you're a person that dribbles good with your right hand and your left hand's pretty weak, then you're gonna have to practice with your left hand. You know what I mean? All right? Reverse layups and a different type of perspective, you know? Overhand dribbles, okay? In and out dribbles, crosses, all right? Hezzies, okay? So those are all different aspects of understanding what you're good at, what you're not good at, because at the end of the day, you're looking in the mirror, you're seeing what's good at. Like for example, if you know you get mad all the time, then you're gonna have to understand, why do I get mad? What's the point of getting mad? Do I really want to get mad, or is there something else that I'm getting mad at that I don't understand in the back of my mind? Because there's always the tip of the iceberg, right? It can be this, but then it's like a whole chunk under, right? So there's always that. So you don't always have to get mad or always have to think it's something when it's something else, right? Like you can be distracted by your work because your mom or dad are arguing at home, and you're just lashing out in class because you think you're not getting the courses, but at the end of the day, the under the iceberg is actually your mom and daddy arguing. It's just so frustrating that you can't really vent to nobody or have anybody talk to you in certain type of aspects, right? So that's just an example of understanding, you know, self-awareness. So contextual interpretations, literary meaning, looking at one's physical reflection in mirror, right? Figurative meaning, reflecting on one's character, behavior, or decisions. So when I say you gotta look in the mirror, it's more so figurative instead of literary, okay? Because not everything has to be literal. Like you don't gotta really look in yourself in the mirror. You already know how you look. You feel me? So that is like that breakdown. Because think about it like this. The figurative meaning kind of makes more connection to everyday life, even though you always look at yourself in the mirror. But when it comes to, you know, reflecting on one's character, behavior, or decisions, you have to understand what kind of individual you are, because you are going to be coming of more of that, okay? It's like, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. If you're not understanding that the people you surround yourself is basically the depictions of yourself, then you're not gonna understand how to better yourself, because you are in a fog and a clouded mind. Let's continue. The phrase "you gotta look in the mirror" often encourages to conclude this, the phrase "you gotta look in the mirror" often encourages self-reflection, accountability, and personal growth. What context were you thinking? All right, so basically that was just the generalized data saying that. But yeah, what context were you thinking? That can be more so like one context for real, because there's a lot of context. Understanding you gotta look in the mirror. For example, if you're just a bullshitter in life, that's a context in itself. Like you gotta look in the mirror. Like what have you been doing all your life? You're fucking 45 years old. Like I'm not trying to down you, but dude, you know, it's never too late. But dude, come on, look in the mirror. You feel me? Like what's going on? Well, every type of person that is just a deadbeat father. Like, bro, what the fuck you doing? Like, yo, take care of your kids, son. Like, yo, take care of your kid, bro. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Or if you're the type of person that's just a fucked up boyfriend, yo, tighten up. Stop cheating on her. Yeah, dude, treat her right, bro. She treats you right? You know, that's the context. There's multiple contexts, you know what I'm saying? There's different variations of context. Like, you know, I'll give you another example. Like, dude, if you're always cheating on the exam, like, dude, you're gonna be a cheater all your life? Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. A lot of people that cheat in life, they go far, but at the end of the day, they're not gonna be able to stand their ground because their knowledge is not basically concrete. The knowledge is not, it's not really true knowledge. It's knowledge that is based upon what they stole from. So, yeah, you can be a cheater all you want, but when it's time to stand your ground, I don't think you're gonna be ready for that, bro, because all that cheating, bro, it took you nowhere. But you know what I'm saying, it took you some places, but when it comes to, you know, meeting that maker, just coming through and actually trying to, people seeing if you know your shit, because people test knowledge, bro. People want to see if you know your shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if you're like a bullshitter in that perspective and cheating and shit, like, yeah, bro, you can go far in cheating. Like, trust me. I see some cheaters go extremely far, make a lot of money, bro, but it never lasts, dude. It never lasts. And it sucks because even if it does last, their soul is not accepting of them own selves because they start judging themselves and when nobody sees it. That's why a lot of people in life that are rich, they really are not as happy as what people think. They're very depressed individuals, you know what I'm saying? So regardless of all that, I just want you guys to understand that there's a lot of things in life that you have to look in the mirror and you have to look in yourself and tell yourself, like, am I really a good individual to my appeal? Or am I a person that's been slacking in different variations? And if you are, you know, make certain type of objectives, you know, write down certain goals to better yourself, start doing better habits to be able to improve yourself, and then you'll find yourself in a different way of living in a different situation in your life and you'll be better off. So without that and all that being said, I just want you guys to understand that make sure you look in the mirror because you have to. So at the end of the day, you are the controller of your own reality, and I'm going to leave you at that. It's in my live now, and I'm out. I hope you guys enjoy everything that I said. Make sure you write them down in the notes, okay? Thank you.